What's good today, guys? Today I'm going over the PS4 Pubg sensitivity settings. I'm going to explain each one, tell you what mine are on the PS4, and kind of explain what they do, what they mean, how they're involved in the game, and then you guys could decide for yourself from there and make decisions on your own sensitivity settings or base them off mine, fix them up from there, and see what is comfortable for you. That way you could improve your game and enjoy PUBG that much more. So to start it off, there's controller preset, there's type A, in which you have to click the L2 button in order to aim down your sight, or you could go to type B. That way you could hold the left trigger and aim down your sight, which is way more comfortable for me. That's how I've always played first person shooters, so that's what I'm sticking with, type B controller button preset. Next up is the left stick dead zone, which is your character movement. The lower it is here, the less pressure you'd have to put on your left thumbstick to get your character moving. The higher the number here means you'd have to put more pressure on your thumbstick to really get your character moving. The right stick dead zone is the same concept, but for this one you have to keep in mind it's in general movement when you're looking around, but also when you're aiming down an optic or a scope. So the higher it is, remember you have to put more pressure on your thumbstick. The lower it is means the less pressure. So when you're zoomed in really close, it's really sensitive if you have it on a lower number, and the higher number means you would have to push your thumbstick in one direction a lot farther than you would when it's at a lower number. So keep that in mind, try them out. I have my right stick at 15 and my left stick dead zone at 10. Movement sensitivity is the movement of your character. The lower the number here would mean you would really have to push far on your thumbstick to get your character running. And the higher the number means the slighter you would put pressure on your left thumbstick to get your character moving at a higher speed. My movement sensitivity is at 50, just in the middle, perfect for me. That way I could easily push it all the way up to run, or I could just slightly push it if I'm trying to creep up on different enemies. Vertical sensitivity multiplier. The lower it is here means your up and down vertical sensitivity will be slower than your left and right. The higher the number here means your vertical sensitivity, so up and down, will be faster than your left and right. If you put it exactly at 100, that means your sensitivity in all directions, left, right, up, and down, would all be the same, which is what mine is at because it's so much easier to know by muscle memory to have your sensitivity the same in all directions, especially if you're zoomed in down a scope or down a sight. Just going up and down, left and right makes it that much easier because of muscle memory. We're on to general sensitivity now. This is just basic looking around, looting buildings, looking for enemies. So you're not aiming down your scope, you're not looking for any enemies down your sight. This is just not zoomed in down anything, just looking around in general. I have mine at 13. It's not too fast, but I don't like it too slow, just enough where I could still whip around and tag enemies up that are on the side of me. And also enough to use the free look camera to look around at a decent speed where I could still spot enemies. Also with general sensitivity, it's when you throw your throwables, such as grenades, that comes into effect with general sensitivity. So keep that in mind when choosing. Next up is a vehicle driver sensitivity. So this is when you're driving and looking around for enemies or looking which way to go. This is just you driving and looking in certain directions. Aim acceleration is a tough one to understand. But to make this easiest on y'all, if you have it off, that means your aim acceleration does not increase in speed as you hold your right thumbstick in one direction over time. If you have it on and at a low number, your aim acceleration will increase very slightly over time as you hold your right thumbstick in one direction. If you have it as a higher number and you hold your right thumbstick in one direction, it speeds up fairly quickly over time as you hold your thumbstick in that one direction. So for example, if you're shooting at a car driving to your right and you have aim acceleration on, as you're following the car in one direction, your aimer will increase in speed as you hold it in that one direction. Now if it's off, it will not increase in speed. It will stay in one pace as you follow an object or a person going in a certain direction over time. My aim acceleration is on and it's at a 5. Over the shoulder aiming is the soft aim feature or shooting over your shoulder feature. I have mine at 11, just enough to follow a person in certain directions or to peek corners a little bit easier and have a better view on the field compared to when you aim down your sight. So I like to keep mine at 11. Keep in mind, guys, there's a third person perspective aim camera position. So when you're aiming over your shoulder, you want to set that in one set position. So you could set it to right shoulder, left shoulder, the most recent aim shoulder, or the latest peak shoulder. I like to keep mine over the right shoulder because that's what I'm used to. I like shooting over the right side compared to anything else. It just seems much more comfortable for me. Now we have the 1x optics, which is the iron sight, red dot, hollow sight. We have the 2x optics, which is the 2x sight, and then the 3x scope sensitivity, which is the 3x scope. All of these I have at an 8, just enough where I could follow people moving in one direction. Sometimes if you have it too slow, it's much easier to control, but then if a character is really close to you and you're trying to aim down your sight, then you can't follow them easy enough to kill them because they'll be too fast compared to your sight movement. So I like to have mine at an 8, somewhere in the middle, where I could still shoot people far away, but also close up. Next up, the 4x scope and the 6x scope. I have it at 4. I like to make these just controllable enough where I could easily aim down my sight, find a person slightly hiding and leaning behind a tree, trying to shoot me, where I could tag their head and take them out for the nice kill. 8x scope, a little bit slower because it's a little bit farther distance. I like to make sure I have nice controllable scope so I could easily aim at them and take them out. These are also not too slow where you can't flick towards your opponent. Flicking is one thing that you guys should practice on in this game, because sometimes you're never on target and you need to just quickly react, aim at your target, and flick over to them to make that kill. The 15x scope I have never gotten on the PS4 yet, so I'm not sure what to put that at. So as of right now, it is at a 5. I will pin my sensitivity settings in the comments if you want to work off that, but just keep in mind that sensitivity is different for everybody, and copying one person's will not make you better. But with a lot of practice over time and getting used to your own settings, that will get you better. These are just something to work off of. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. I'm shooting for 30 likes. Help me achieve that goal. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. And make sure you hit the bell for a little ring-a-ding-ding to get notified when the next video of mine goes live. Catch you all in the next one. Peace.